So let's watch some of these Netanyahu clips. So this was today, guys.
She calls the eighth front of the war.
Because it's this. This is yours, right? You're not immune either. Because you can penetrate this machine. You can penetrate this.
I have to. You can penetrate that machine, huh? Yeah, we know. Take a look at this. You want to know what happened in 2024? We know. Oh, big Yahoo, we know, my friend. 2024 Lebanon electronic device attacks. On the 17th and 18th of September 2024, thousands of handheld pagers and hundreds of walkie-talkies intended for use by Hezbollah exploded simultaneously in two separate events across Lebanon and Syria. An Israeli attack nicknamed Operation Grim Beeper. So, if you guys weren't familiar, and my brother refers to this all the time, this was a series of explosions on pagers that Hezbollah, the militant group supported by Iran, an Iranian proxy, were using to communicate within one another or with each other. And they all exploded in many of their hands. I think 12 people were killed. Several others were injured. And so, like, it's just ironic that he's bringing up, like, you know, this can be hacked. This can be, you don't know, this isn't safe. Like, you're the one who's the problem, bro. You're the one. Like, what are you talking about?
This little instrument. And you can say about Major Garrett anything you want. And I can paint you as a monster. And if I say it often enough, enough people will believe it.
Do you believe Israel is at risk of losing this war on that social media front? And this is particularly, I believe, important in America for younger Americans, Republican and Democrat, scrolling through images, and they would use words like barbaric in Gaza and in Lebanon.
Israel has gone to unbelievable lengths to get innocent civilians out of harm's way. We text message.
Give me a break. Give me a break. They're still bombing Gaza.
Millions of text messages to them. Make millions of phone calls to them. Pamphlets, leaflets, you name it, okay? We have seen the deterioration of the support for Israel in the United States almost, I would say it correlates almost 100% with the geometric rise of social media. And that by itself is not what caused it, and I don't believe in.
And look, this is what I was saying earlier at the beginning of the stream. This is the first clip. I saw this earlier. There's been an unintentional overlap of interests and common ideas against Israel from the right and the left and anybody in between. That's been the case, whether you have political views that are very right-wing or left-leaning or you're libertarian, whatever it is, people have been able to agree on one thing: Israel genocided Gaza. Israel is annexing the West Bank. Israel is dragging the United States into conflicts in the Middle East that don't help us. Everybody's been privy to that or understanding that recently. And so it's impossible to censor that because there's no one base demographic that, if censored, will actually remedy the issue. You go and you take out the right-wingers, people on the left are going to talk about it. You censor Anna Kasparian, you still have Nick Fuentes. So it's really no way around it other than to address it head on and just kind of be the bad guy. And that's what Israel's effectively done. Because if you've been paying attention, the censorship campaign has slowed down. Some of that, I suppose, thanks to the Trump administration. But, you know, if a Democrat gets elected in 2028, especially one that's a little bit more pro-Israel, we never know what happens or we never know what will happen. Well, then you can bet that censorship will probably ramp back up.
You know, in censoring them or anything, but I'll tell you what happened. We have several countries that basically manipulated social media, and they do it in a clever way. And that's something that has hurt us badly.
Is it your belief, Mr. Prime Minister, that nothing that Israel has done, tactically or...
Let me minimize this. Maybe that'll help my case with copyright.
...strategically has made no mistakes either in Gaza or the West Bank that have, in their own way, contributed to this negative impression of Israel, whether it's on social media or someplace else?
No, of course. Look, it's war. And in war, armies sometimes miss. And
sometimes miss? Okay, so you just accidentally always miss and shoot families that are trying to get food at the aid sites you set up? Yeah, sometimes miss. Okay.
Civilians die, and these are mistakes. These are not
No, it's all intentional. It's all intentional. They just shot some guy who had a newborn baby in the head in the West Bank like 3 days ago.
deliberate things that happen. Israel is besieged on the media front, on the propaganda front, and we've not done well on the propaganda war.
Yeah, you damn sure you haven't. And look, this is true because Charlie Kirk wrote a letter to Benjamin Netanyahu, I believe just a few months before his assassination, I think sometime in May of last year. So about a year ago now at this point. And this is the letter. It says, from the desk of Charlie Kirk. And he's pretty much asking Benjamin Netanyahu to bolster his stance and try to take back control of large-scale media companies and these corporations so he can push his own propaganda, because the pro-Palestine sentiment is becoming concerning. He's getting bad questions on college campuses, ones that he can't answer, ones in regards to Israel being a apartheid colonialist state that is genociding Palestinians. And so we can read the letter here. This reads, so this is Charlie Kirk to Benjamin Netanyahu, and it reads, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews in the fight to protect Judeo-Christian civilization. Most recently, I am proud to have taken over Ambassador Huckabee's show on TBN, where we continually support Israel and the Jewish people. As Mohammedanism spreads into Western societies, it's critical that Jews and Christians stay united in the effort to contain and roll back radical Islam and Sharia law. I apologize for laughing, but some of this is comical as you can take it. I'm sure you guys agree. I regret to report that anti-Israel and anti-Semitic trends are at record levels on social media. These negative sentiments then flow downstream into college campuses and even seep into the conservative MAGA community. My team and I have spent months analyzing these trends and debating ideas that could help you and your country push back against these disturbing developments. Anti-Israel sentiment can undermine American support for Israel. The purpose of this letter is to lay out our concerns and outline potential remedies. Everything written here is from a place of deep love for Israel and the Jewish people. I think it's important to be brutally honest with those you love. In my opinion, Israel is losing the information war and needs a, quote, communications intervention. I started to compose this letter to you on Easter. I should have been focused on my family, but I was getting bombarded with these messages about the Israeli army making it difficult for Christians to access the church in Jerusalem on Easter. At the time, I did not see any official statements pushing back on this narrative. It was frustrating because pro-Israel surrogates like me should not be in charge of fact-checking every piece of anti-Israel misinformation that pours into social media. It wasn't just Easter. On my recent campus tours, half the questions I get are about Israel, and they're all negative. I often spend half my time on these campus tours defending Jews in Israel, which I'm proud to do because I love Israel and I love the Jewish faith. I spent endless hours with Dennis Prager over the years studying the Torah, sometimes, which is the Hebrew Bible, right? It's Christian scripture as well in some regard. It feels like I'm defending Israel in public more than your own government. My experience on college campuses matches a recent Harvard-Harris poll, which reported 48% of 18 to 24-year-old Americans support Hamas over Israel. Even in young MAGA circles, Israel is losing support. We are getting huge crowds of 4,000 to 5,000 students on some of my college tours. My campus visits are becoming like a rock concert atmosphere filled with conservative patriots, yet on these campus visits, I'm constantly confronted with the following questions. Israel is an apartheid state. Why does Israel conduct ethnic cleansing? Why is America subsidizing Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people? Is American aid helping to subsidize Israel's free healthcare? Israel and the Jews are running U.S. foreign policy. Israel and the Jews are responsible for 9/11. Defending Israel is not in our U.S. national interest. Why is Israel trying to drag us into a war in the Middle East? All questions from college students. Above are just a sampling of the negative Israel/Jewish comments and questions I confront on college campuses. I'm accused of being a paid apologist for Israel when I defend her. Her is crazy. However, if I don't defend Israel strongly enough, I'm accused of being anti-Semitic. I know you've got a 7-front war, and my kvetching pales in comparison, but I'm trying to convey to you that Israel is losing support even in conservative circles. This should be a 5-alarm fire. I'm often asked, why is Israel killing so many innocent civilians in Gaza? I know Israel goes to great lengths by dropping flyers and even calling civilians to clear out areas about to be bombed. I know Israel posts maps showing which areas could be or should be evacuated. I know that Hamas uses civilians as human shields, but 90% of the, yeah, you know all of these things, but that obviously they're ineffective, which is why you're writing this letter. But 90% of the younger generation gets their news from social media and podcasts, and there's very little pushback or fact checking by the Israeli government and or pro-Palestine or pro-Israel supporters in the media, especially social media. I strongly suggest Israel not always depend on subcontracting their information war efforts to surrogates in America. Mr. Prime Minister, I urge you to revamp your information warfare strategy from top to bottom. Sometimes the impression is given that Israel thinks everyone hates them, so why care about winning over hearts and minds? If there's any truth to this impression, I urge you to consider that social media and podcasts is where you fight for the hearts and minds of the younger generation. Obviously, all of this negative Israel propaganda on social media easily translates into pro-Hamas or free Palestine sentiment on many college campuses. And you see here, I mean, just look at the language. It says pro-Hamas, free Palestine. No, but these are two different things. See, and this is an important distinction to draw out. Just because somebody's free Palestine doesn't necessitate that they're pro-Hamas, okay? And if you have any semblance of knowledge, you know that. But of course, he combines the two. And this is what I'm talking about with the propaganda. The first step, if you guys actually want to gain some sort of or cover some sort of ground in this war on social media, stop being disingenuous. So that's why I inputted the or, because it is two different things here. Here are some unsolicited recommendations my team and I suggest if you're open-minded to a communications reset. For starters, you need a rapid response media team. President Trump does this very effectively on social media with his own account and his White House Rapid Response 47 team. The president has strong fighters like Stephen Miller and Carolyn Levitt who battle the press every day. Honestly, I don't even know if you have a press secretary. You are an eloquent defender of Israel, but you need a team of information warriors out there pushing back every day.
You know, you might think that we have this disrespect and this antagonism all over the world, but that's not true. We had a visit here. First of all, many Americans support Israel, respect Israel, have not succumbed to the slanderous.
But the numbers are out of balance in ways they seem
correct, and for the reason I told you, because I think there's been a concerted effort by several states.
No. It's because you killed 100,000 people in 2 years. That's why everybody's against you.
To basically vilify Israel in the primarily in the social media, in the standard media too, but that's less effective. The effective thing is in the social media, and we've not fought back yet, so we'll have to do that.
And it's like, these are scary things. We have not fought back yet. What is he planning on doing? You know what I mean? And then this is him talking about the Iran war.
Is the war with Iran over? And if it isn't, who will decide when it is?
I think it accomplished a great deal, but it's not over because there's still nuclear material, enriched uranium that has to be taken out of Iran.
Oh, you don't say. That's what I've been saying since like forever.
There's still enrichment sites that have to be dismantled. There are still proxies that Iran supports. There are ballistic missiles that they still want to produce. Now, we've degraded a lot of it, but all of that is still there, and there's work to be done.
How do you envision the highly enriched uranium will be removed from Iran?
You go in and you take it out.
Thank you. So to all the idiots that say, oh, there's not going to be a boots on ground, oh, that's not going to happen, they're never going to let that happen. Well, who has more influence, you or him? Last time I checked, you're a nobody. Last time I checked, he runs our president.
With what? Special forces from Israel? Special forces from the United States?
Well, I'm not going to talk about military means, but what President Trump has said to me, I want to go in there. And I think it can be done physically. That's not the problem. If you have an agreement and you go in and you take it out, why not? That's the best way.
What if there isn't an agreement? Can it be taken out by force?
Well, you're going to ask me these questions. I'm going to dodge them because I'm not going to talk about our military possibilities, plans, or anything of the kind.
And I'm just trying to get at how long is it going to take to achieve that aim?
I'm not going to give a timetable to it, but I'm going to say that's a terrifically important mission.
And this is what he's been saying for months. This is him back in March saying there has to be a ground component in Iran. March 19th, 2026, here is the date. So we all know what this means, okay?
Told us surprised how many Arab states are interested in strengthening ties with Israel.
I now see the possibility of the expansion and the deepening of the agreements we do have to alliances with Arab states of the kind that we never even dreamed of.
There is concern rising among the Gulf monarchies that it will not allow and does not want Israel to exercise
Be any better.
strategic dominance over the Middle East. So has any of this been jeopardized?
I'm hearing different things. I'm hearing the fact from Arab countries, which I won't get into.
All of them?
No. But
He's doing a lot of tittle-tallying here, or tattletaling here in his interview. First, he says there's going to be a ground element again. And then he says Trump tells him he wants to go in and take the uranium, a.k.a. boots-on-ground invasion, because that's what it's going to have to be. And now he's saying Arab states want to do business. They want to do diplomacy. Bro's exposing everybody. And we know the UAE shares a really close relationship with Israel. We know that for a fact. The Emirates are all cucked out already. Not even a secret. But I mean, who could he be referring to here? Maybe other Gulf nations, Saudi, I don't know. Saudi was pretty close to signing the Abraham Accords at one point in time. So who knows who he's referring to?
some of them, and I never heard that before, let's strengthen our alliance with Israel, because that, in fact, deters Iran. Let's strengthen our alliance with
No, it really doesn't, actually. It really doesn't.
Israel, because we can do amazing things with Israel.
That was clearly the trajectory before this conflict.
It's more than you think now, in ways that I cannot, I guess, will become public. I can't give everything to 60 Minutes or to you in one shot, but I'm telling you that the degree of economic cooperation on energy, on AI, on quantum, the areas where Israel is so strong, and they see the possibility now of sharing the fruits of these capabilities with them, and that's happening right now.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I think that's a big bluff, but you never know. You never know. I mean, a lot of them have formalized relations already, so that could be the case.
Financial relationship to the United States, meaning, do you believe it's time for the state of Israel to re-examine and possibly reset its financial relationship to the United States, meaning what the United States provides to Israel on an annual basis?
Absolutely. And I've said this to President Trump. I've said it to our own people. Their jaws dropped. But I said, look.
Well, what do you mean? What are you saying?
I want to draw down to zero the American financial support, the financial component of the military cooperation that we have, because we receive $3.8 billion a year. And I think that it's time that we weaned ourselves from the remaining military support.
Can you give me a timetable?
I said, let's start now and do it over the next decade, over the next 10 years, but I want to start now. I don't want to wait for the next Congress. I want to start now.
That is super weird, to say the least. That is very, very weird, to say the least.
China gave a certain amount of support on particular components of missile manufacturing, but I can't say more than that.
Does that disturb you?
Well, I didn't like it.
Because it's apparently doing it right now.
Could be. Could be. I don't want to speak for China. I don't want to speak also.
But you have eyes and ears on this.
Yeah, well, but I also have a closed mouth when necessary.
Interesting. So